Josefina Stubbs, thank you so much for coming to speak with the students today. We have a few questions for you. The first one is, what are examples of governments fostering renewable energy in the region?
Latin America is moving fast, even though it has to accelerate the pace of bringing renewable energy sources to the energy grid. We have examples of countries that have made a commitment to become green, sustainable, renewable based, like Costa Rica, which has declared already that most of the year is using electricity coming from renewable sources. We see an important evolution in Chile, in Brazil, in Colombia, in Mexico, in Central American countries as well. So we are seeing a lot of fast change moving in the region, but there is much more that has to be done, because at the moment it's only about 3-4% of the energy mix in the region at the regional level that is coming from renewable sources.
What are the biggest challenges for the renewable energy sector in Latin America?
The first is institutional. We need to do more in harmonizing policies for climate and energy policies, so that we make sure that incentives go to support renewable energy sources to generate, for instance, the energy that the region needs. That's one. This is institutional. The other is technological. It is true that the world is producing more, better, and cheaper technology in support of renewable energy and new clean energy sources. But I think the region itself needed to invest much more in technological advances in support of the renewable energy and the SDG, in reaching the SDG climate change objectives. And the third, I think, has to do with resources and access to financing, not only for large enterprises and the countries at large for big renewable energy generation projects, but also for people at the community level. You have producers in the rural sector, cooperatives, associations that are committed to increasing energy efficiency and in moving away from non-renewable sources of energy generation, but they sometimes lack the resources to do the upfront investment that is needed. So it's institutional, it's financial, and as I said, it's also technological.
How can renewable energy investments improve overall development in Latin America?
Well, we hope, first of all, that as people get access to cleaner energy, it will be an energy that is not more expensive than the energy produced with non-renewable sources. We say that because the price of the technology to generate energy from renewable sources is going down. So we hope that that is an incentive for people to move to renewable sources. That's an advantage. The other advantage is that, of course, decarbonizing and reducing the amount of CO2 emission that is being produced in Latin America and then coming back in other ways that really affect and impact people negatively is an advantage in itself. We say that if we do not decarbonize our urban sectors, reducing the amount of CO2 emission of the cars, CO2 emissions of agriculture, CO2 emissions of other sectors, we will continue to be badly hit by climate change, and with it impact on the productivity again of the rural sector, worse hurricanes, floodings, migration generated by drought, by floodings, etc. So renewable energy and moving into sustainable ways of generating energy will help reduce CO2 emissions, and it will be a contribution that will benefit everybody, not only those in Latin America, but around the world.